There's a certain kind of confidence that doesn't have to announce itself. It's not loud or flashy. It's quiet, unshakable, and it commands respect without saying a single word. Most people think this is a birthright of the wealthy, but it's not. It's a set of skills, a social blueprint taught to old money kids long before they ever hear the words trust fund. That quiet confidence is something so many of us are chasing. We look for it in new clothes, in a promotion, or in getting enough likes on a post. But real, lasting self-assurance isn't something you can buy. It's a framework you build inside yourself. It's the kind of confidence that stays with you whether you're in a boardroom or a coffee shop, whether you've just succeeded or totally failed. It's the art of being comfortable in your own skin and moving through the world with grace and control. For generations, old money families have understood this. They've passed down a specific set of social skills to their children, not to show off their wealth, but to instill a deep sense of self-possession. These skills are their real inheritance. It's a blueprint that ensures they never feel like an imposter in any room they walk into. They're taught that your character, not a logo on your shirt, is what earns respect. And the good news? This blueprint isn't some secret reserved for the elite. It's a series of learnable behaviors and mindsets that anyone, anywhere, can use to build that exact same unshakable confidence. It's not about where you came from. It's about the standards you decide to live by. So today, we're opening up that blueprint. We're breaking down the 10 social skills that old money kids master before they turn 18. Giving you the practical tools to build that same quiet authority in your own life. Chapter 1. The Art of Emotional Control and Resilience. The first, and maybe the most important skill, is emotional control. We live in a world that seems to celebrate raw, public, and knee-jerk reactions. But the old money ethos teaches the complete opposite. Composure under pressure is the ultimate sign of strength. Kids in these families are taught that while their feelings are valid, their immediate reaction is always a choice. Instead of impulsive outbursts, they learn to pause, process, and respond with intention. This isn't about bottling up your emotions, it's about regulating them. When they face a setback, a bad grade, a social snub, losing a game, the parents don't usually rush in to fix it. Instead, they'll ask calmly, "Learn from it. What's next?" This way of thinking builds resilience and grit. It frames failure not as a disaster, but as a data point, a chance to grow and adjust your strategy. They learn that frustration is a part of life, and how you handle it is a measure of your maturity. Let's paint a picture. Imagine two people show up at a fancy restaurant, and the host can't find their reservation. The first person, let's call them newly successful, gets visibly annoyed. Their voice gets louder, they might complain about the inconvenience, hint at how much they were going to spend, and demand a manager, making sure everyone around them knows how wronged they are. Now, picture the person with the old money mindset. They'd walk up to the host calmly, make eye contact, and state the problem simply. There seems to be a misunderstanding with our reservation. They don't raise their voice or make threats. They listen, and then firmly but politely ask for a solution. I understand. What can be done to accommodate us? Their calm demeanor is so composed that it gets more respect and a faster solution than any tantrum ever could. This skill is about understanding that emotional outbursts just show a lack of control. They give your power away to the situation or the other person. Quiet composure, on the other hand, signals that you are in command of yourself, and by extension, the situation. It's a silent way of saying, I can't be easily rattled. So, here's your takeaway. Practice the pause. The next time you feel a spike of anger, frustration, or anxiety, don't react right away. Take a quiet, deep breath. If you need a second in a conversation, it's perfectly fine to say, let me think about that for a moment. Ask yourself, what's the most constructive way to respond? And what do I actually want to achieve here? That tiny gap between feeling and acting is where emotional mastery is born. Chapter 2. The practice of gratitude and humility. The second skill is subtle but incredibly powerful, the daily practice of gratitude. For anyone born into privilege, entitlement is a huge risk. Old money families often fight this not with lectures, but with a built-in habit of gratitude. The goal is to turn a sense of privilege into a sense of responsibility. And this isn't the showy, performative gratitude you see all over social media. It's a quiet, internal practice. Kids are taught to appreciate the work behind their advantages, the generations of effort that built the family's resources, the staff who help run the home, the opportunities they've been given. This constant reflection builds a deep-seated humility, a sense that their self-worth isn't tied to their status or their stuff. And ironically, that's where their confidence comes from. They don't need to show off their wealth because their identity isn't built on it. Let's look at the contrast. A new money mindset might celebrate a new luxury car by posting a dozen pictures of it online with flashy captions. The focus is on the object and getting validation from others. It's a loud way of saying, "Look at what I have." The old money approach is different. The appreciation for the same car might be a quiet conversation about its craftsmanship or a simple thank you to the person who made it possible. The focus is on the quality and the privilege of enjoying it, not the attention it gets. This humility is a social superpower. It makes them gracious and easy to be around. It lets them connect with people from all walks of life without acting superior. They were taught that your true character is revealed by how you treat people you don't need to impress. Here's a practical takeaway for you. Start a daily gratitude practice that's about depth, not just listing things. Every evening, write down 3 specific things you're grateful for. Instead of something generic like, "I'm grateful for my job," dig deeper. "I'm grateful for that tough project at work because it forced me to learn something new." Instead of, "I'm grateful for my family," try, "I'm grateful for that phone call with my sister today and how we laughed about an old memory." This practice slowly rewires your brain to see the world through a lens of appreciation, building a humble confidence that doesn't need anyone else's approval. Chapter 3. The power of understated communication. Skill number 3 is mastering the art of understatement. In a world of hyperbole where everything is epic, literally the worst, or the best ever, the old money way of speaking is all about restraint. They're taught from a young age that yelling for attention signals insecurity, as if you need to convince people you're important. Real confidence is quiet. It doesn't need to shout. By speaking in a measured tone and using precise, unexaggerated language, you create an aura of authority. It actually makes people lean in and listen more closely. Your words carry more weight because they aren't watered down with constant hype. Let's go back to our classic contrast. Someone excited about a trip might say, "Oh my God, I'm so excited. I just booked this insane 2-week trip to Europe. We're flying first class to Paris, then Rome and Monaco. It's going to be legendary." The statement is designed to impress. The old money approach, if asked, would be much more toned down. "I'm looking forward to spending some time in Europe next month." Or even more simply, "We'll be in France for a bit." The information is delivered as a fact, without all the emotional fireworks. This isn't about being boring, it's strategic. It avoids making others envious and it maintains a sense of privacy. It also signals that experiences like this are a normal part of their life, not a huge dramatic event. Understatement sends the message that your self-worth is stable, whether you're on a fancy vacation or just at home. It's a quiet confidence that comes from knowing who you are, not from what others think of you. Your practical takeaway is to practice the art of reduction in your own language. For 1 week, try to eliminate filler words like amazing, literally, insane, and perfect. Replace them with more precise, less emotional words. And second, practice speaking just a little more slowly and leaving small pauses. You don't need to fill every silence. Being comfortable in silence is a true hallmark of confidence. Chapter 4. The primacy of politeness and etiquette. Skill number 4 is the core belief that manners are more important than milestones. In many homes, the focus is on achievements, the grades, the trophies, the college acceptances. In the old money tradition, those are secondary. The real curriculum is social grace. Why? Because they know that while your credentials might get you in the door, it's your character and manners that let you stay in the room. Etiquette isn't seen as a bunch of stuffy, old-fashioned rules. It's a tool for making social interactions smooth and respectful. Kids learn this as a daily practice, and the dinner table is the main classroom. They learn to make eye contact, to listen without interrupting, and to write a prompt thank you note. They're taught to treat the waitstaff with the same courtesy they'd show a CEO. Let's draw a clear contrast. Picture a brilliant, highly accomplished person who constantly interrupts people, checks their phone during conversations, and has terrible table manners. Now, picture someone with a less flashy resume, but who has impeccable social graces. They make everyone they talk to feel heard and respected. Who are you more likely to invite back? Who is going to build a stronger network over time? The answer is obvious. Bad manners can mark you as an outsider before you even say a word, while good manners can open doors that money can't. These rules aren't about being fake. They're rooted in a basic respect for other people and a desire to make them feel comfortable. It's a form of social intelligence that shows you're aware of others. For your practical takeaway, focus on mastering 3 basics of modern etiquette. First, perfect your handshake, firm but not crushing, with direct eye contact and a real smile. Second, master the art of the introduction. When you introduce people, use their full names and offer a small piece of information to get a conversation started between them. And third, practice mindful presence. When someone is talking to you, put your phone away and give them your full attention. This one simple act has become a rare and powerful sign of respect in our distracted world. Chapter 5. The language of money as a life skill. The 5th skill is treating financial literacy as a core life skill, just as fundamental as reading or writing. In so many families, money is a topic that's wrapped in mystery, anxiety, or shame. It's either not discussed or it's discussed in terms of what you can't afford. The old money approach is the opposite. They demystify money by making it part of daily life from a very young age. The goal is to cultivate a mindset of stewardship, not just consumption. Money is seen as a tool to create opportunities, solve problems, and provide security, not as the end goal itself. Kids learn this through practical, age-appropriate lessons. A toddler might learn to sort coins. A kid in elementary school might get an allowance, split into 3 jars, one for saving, one for spending, and one for giving. A teenager isn't just handed cash, they're taught how to budget, how to understand the opportunity cost of a purchase, and maybe even how to read a simple balance sheet. Let's contrast 2 parenting approaches. One parent, wanting to be generous, just buys their kid the latest video game. The kid learns that wanting equals betting. Another parent, with the same generous spirit, says, "That's a great goal, let's make a plan. If you save half of your allowance for 6 weeks and do these extra chores, you'll have enough to buy it yourself." That kid learns about delayed gratification, the value of work, and the satisfaction of earning something. The first becomes a consumer, the second is on their way to becoming a financially responsible adult. This open, practical approach to money removes the fear around it. It gives them a sense of control, and in the old money world, control is confidence. Your practical takeaway is to start your own financial literacy journey, one step at a time. Don't get intimidated, just pick one area to learn about this month. It could be creating your first real budget with an app. It could be reading a good beginner's book on investing. Or it could be making a concrete plan to pay off a credit card. By treating money as a skill you can learn and practice, you shift your relationship with it from one of anxiety to one of empowerment. Before we get to the second half of our blueprint, take a moment to think about these first 5 skills. If you're finding this guide to social grace and self-possession valuable, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We explore the art of refined living and the psychology of confidence every week, and we'd be honored to have you in our community. Chapter 6: The Discipline of Delayed Gratification. The sixth skill, which is tied directly to financial literacy, is the discipline of delayed gratification. In our world of one-click ordering and on-demand everything, the ability to simply wait has become a radical act of self-control. Old money families intentionally build this skill, knowing it's the foundation of all long-term success. The principle is simple. Anything truly worthwhile takes time to build: a fortune, a reputation, a new skill. Children learn this through small, consistent lessons. They have to wait for birthdays and holidays for big gifts instead of getting things on demand. They're taught to save up for something they want, so they experience the process of setting a goal and working for it. This isn't about depriving them, it's about building their patience muscle. Let's look at a modern contrast. One person sees a new, expensive jacket online and immediately buys it with a buy now, pay later service. They get the instant rush, but it's followed by months of payments and a low-level hum of financial anxiety. A second person sees the same jacket. They admire it, decide they want it, and make a plan to save for it over the next 3 months. When they finally buy it, the feeling isn't just the fleeting joy of a new thing, but the deep satisfaction of achieving a goal. The first person is a slave to their impulses. The second is a master of their desires. This discipline goes way beyond shopping. It's the ability to hold back a snarky comment in an argument. It's choosing to study for an exam instead of going to a party. It's the understanding that your dignity is often more important than your desire. Your practical takeaway is to introduce a waiting period into your life. Start with a simple 24-hour rule for any non-essential purchase over, say, $50. If you still want it 24 hours later, then you can consider it. Even more powerfully, apply this to your digital life. The next time you feel the urge to immediately check a notification, just wait 5 minutes. These small acts of deliberate waiting build the mental strength you need for long-term thinking and unshakable self-control. Chapter 7: The Grace of Disagreement. The seventh social skill is handling conflict with grace. Real confidence isn't the absence of conflict, it's being able to navigate it without losing your cool or ruining the relationship. While many people either avoid conflict entirely or turn it into a full-blown battle, the old money approach is to treat a disagreement as a problem to solve together, not a fight to be won. The key principles here are active listening and a focus on a solution. Kids are taught to listen to the other person's side without interrupting, even if they completely disagree. They learn to use I statements to explain their feelings without blaming the other person. For example, instead of saying, "You always ignore my ideas," they're taught to say, "I feel unheard when my suggestions aren't discussed." The focus is on calmly expressing your needs while showing you understand their position. Imagine a business meeting where two partners strongly disagree on a strategy. The typical approach might involve raised voices and personal attacks. That's a terrible idea. It will never work. Both people leave angry, and the relationship is damaged. The more refined approach is very different. The first partner would listen to the entire proposal. Then, they'd acknowledge the other person's view. "I understand why you're suggesting that, and I see the potential benefits you're pointing out." Only then would they calmly state their own view. "I have some concerns about the market risk. Could we explore an alternative that addresses that?" The goal isn't to prove the other person wrong, but to find the best solution together. This approach is incredibly powerful because it shows respect even when you disagree. It preserves the relationship, which is seen as a valuable asset in itself. Here's your practical takeaway: a simple 4-step model for graceful disagreement. Listen, acknowledge, state, and propose. First, listen to the other person's whole point without just planning your comeback. Second, acknowledge their perspective with a phrase like, "I can see your point of view." This isn't agreement, it's a sign of respect. Third, state your own perspective using I statements. "My concern is." Finally, propose a way forward. "Could we brainstorm a third option?"
Practicing this in low-stakes situations will prepare you to handle major conflicts with poise.
Chapter 8. The Adaptability of a Social Chameleon. Skill number 8 is a nuanced one, learning to engage with all kinds of social settings by being both adaptable and true to yourself. It's about developing high social intelligence so you can be comfortable and respectful anywhere without losing your core values. Old money kids are often trained to be social chameleons, but not in a fake or manipulative way. It's about being able to find common ground with anyone, whether it's a head of state or the person mowing the lawn. This skill is learned through exposure. They're encouraged to interact respectfully with people from all walks of life. They learn that respect is universal. They observe how to adjust their communication style, not their character, to fit the situation. This is the difference between being a social strategist and a social climber. A strategist makes other people feel comfortable. A climber just tries to impress people. The goal is always connection, not control. Contrast the person who is stiff and awkward when they're outside of their social bubble. They might talk down to service staff or struggle to chat with someone from a different background. Their confidence is brittle. Now picture the person trained in social adaptability. At a formal gala, they can discuss art. At a casual barbecue, they can talk about sports. They ask thoughtful questions and listen with genuine interest, making people feel valued. This ability to create connection in any room is a quiet but huge source of influence. This adaptability is rooted in curiosity and empathy. It's the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes, even for a moment. Your practical takeaway is to intentionally step outside of your social comfort zone. Once a month, go somewhere or do something you normally wouldn't. Attend a free lecture. Volunteer for a community cleanup, or just strike up a polite conversation with a barista. The goal isn't to make a new best friend, it's to practice finding a small point of connection with someone different from you. Ask open-ended questions, and just listen. This will build your social flexibility and your confidence in unfamiliar territory. Chapter 9. The Power of a Calm Example and Routine. The ninth skill is less of a direct lesson and more about the environment itself, learning from the example of calm adults and the stability of routines. Kids absorb most of their social skills just by observing the people around them. In old money households, the adults often make a deliberate effort to model the behavior they want to see. They handle their own stress and arguments with composure and, importantly, in private. Discipline is steady and predictable, not based on a parent's mood. This consistency creates a deep sense of emotional security for a child. When a child lives in a calm, orderly environment, they don't have to waste energy navigating chaos. They can focus on growing. Predictable routines like family dinners, quiet time for reading, structured weekends are the training grounds where all the other skills are practiced every single day. Contrast two homes. The first is chaotic. Schedules are all over the place, parents are openly stressed, and disagreements blow up into fights. A child in this environment learns to be on edge. The second home is built on calm and routine. Rules are clear and consistent. Adults handle disagreements respectfully and away from the kids. A child in this home internalizes that sense of order and learns by osmosis how to handle life with a steady hand. Confidence isn't born from constant excitement, it's born from calm repetition. This principle is about self-parenting just as much as it is about raising kids. Your ability to create structure and routine in your own life is a powerful way to build confidence. Your practical takeaway is to establish a keystone routine. This is one small, consistent ritual that gives you a sense of order. It could be as simple as making your bed every morning, having 15 minutes of quiet time with no devices before bed, or laying out your clothes for the next day. This act of creating one predictable, controlled corner of your life builds a sense of personal stability. On top of that, become a conscious observer of the people you admire. Pay attention to how they speak, handle stress, and interact with others. Learning by observation is one of the most powerful tools you have. Chapter 10. The Responsibility of Community Service and Stewardship.
The final skill, and in many ways the one that brings all the others together, is seeing community service as a basic responsibility. In the old money ethos, privilege isn't just a right to be enjoyed, it's a resource to be used for the good of the community. Kids often get involved in service from a young age, not for show, but to instill a deep sense of empathy and responsibility. This teaches a vital lesson. Leadership is about quiet contribution, not loud dominance. By volunteering, serving on a junior board, or helping with community projects, they learn firsthand that their lives are connected to something bigger. This grounds them, gives them perspective, and keeps their ego in check. It balances their confidence with compassion, a rare and powerful combination. Their purpose becomes rooted in service, which makes their confidence unbreakable because it's no longer just about them. Let's contrast two types of giving. There's performative charity, writing a big check, making sure there's a press release, and showing up at a gala to be photographed. The focus is on the donor. Then there's genuine stewardship, the act of quietly giving your time, expertise, and resources to a cause over the long term. This might mean mentoring a young person or regularly volunteering at a food bank. The first is transactional and about ego. The second is transformational and about purpose. Old money families tend to train their children for the latter. This commitment to service is the ultimate expression of quiet confidence. It says, I have enough security, enough self-worth that I can now focus on the needs of others. It's a shift from a mindset of accumulation to one of contribution. Your practical takeaway is to find a way to contribute that fits your values and your schedule, no matter how small. Commit to one consistent act of service. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It could be volunteering for 1 hour a month, helping an elderly neighbor with their groceries, or offering your professional skills to a small nonprofit for free. The key is consistency. This practice shifts your focus outward, connects you to your community, and builds a sense of purpose that is a much more durable source of confidence than any personal achievement. As we've seen, the social skills that old money kids master have very little to do with actual money. They're not just about learning which fork to use, though that can be part of it. They're about building an internal architecture of character. These 10 skills, emotional control, gratitude, understatement, etiquette, financial literacy, delayed gratification, graceful disagreement, social adaptability, learning from calm examples, and a commitment to service are a blueprint for building a quiet, unshakable confidence. They are about cultivating an inner sense of control, grace, and self-possession that lets you navigate any room with ease. They remind us that real authority is quiet, true elegance is effortless, and lasting confidence is earned through discipline and character. This blueprint is not an exclusive inheritance. It's available to anyone at any age who is willing to put in the work. If this blueprint for a more refined and confident life resonates with you, subscribe and join our community. We're dedicated to the art of living with grace and purpose. And for our question of the day, which of these 10 skills are you going to start practicing first? Share your commitment in the comments below. We read every response and look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, stay classy.